Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I continue my Marvel MCU retrospective with Doctor Strange. So before I get into the review, be sure to hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video and subscribe to the channel for more Marvel reviews. Okay, so let's get into my review for Doctor Strange. So this is an okay Marvel movie. It's really not one of my favorites, but it does have some really cool visuals that I like. Everything in the mirror dimension is awesome. I like the time reverse scene at the end of the film is awesome. The dark dimension with Dormammu and the astral projection. So it has a lot of really cool, trippy visuals that I think is a lot of fun to look at. I just wanted to go ahead and say one of my favorite scenes in this film is actually in the beginning with Christine and Steven in his apartment, where Steven yells at her and she just kind of says, goodbye, Steven. And I love it because first I think it's very well acted between the two actors, and also it feels very relatable. Like Christine as a character feels relatable in that scene, and Strange is being kind of a jerk to her for no reason and thinks that she's taking pity on him, but really she just cares about him and she's just fed up with his crap. And I just really like that scene a lot. I think Rachel McAdams does a great job with it and plays it very well. And that's just kind of one of the emotional heartbeats of the movie that I really enjoy. So in this movie, Strange goes to Karmataj, which is located in Kathmandu, Nepal. But I think in the sequel, it's located in a secluded mountain area, maybe. I'm not sure. But I think it might be a little bit of continuity error, or maybe it changed locations. And also in this, Mordo says to Strange that the sling ring allows them to travel the multiverse. And they also mention the multiverse a few times in this. And Mordo says that messing with the Eye of Agamotto can lead to alternate timelines and stuff. But in the sequel movie, it's super hard to travel the multiverse, and that's why they need America Chavez's powers. So I don't know, maybe it's a continuity error, or maybe it's just not really explained. Maybe he didn't mean multiverse, but across the world. I'm not sure. But it seems a little inconsistent, especially now that we know, Phase 4 and 5 and 6 are going to be the multiverse saga. Seems a little weird that they just kind of threw these mentions in here. But the first Sorcerer Supreme was Agamotto, who created the necklace, the Eye of Agamotto, which can harness the power of the Time Infinity Stone through using magic spells. So we get introduced to another Infinity Stone in this, the Time Stone, which obviously will become important at the end of Phase 3. So in the beginning of the film, Christine, who's his love interest, she tells Strange that, it's always all about him. And we see that Strange is this egocentric guy and only does things, if it's going to better himself in some way. So this ties into the lesson that Strange needs to learn. And towards the end, when the Ancient One is dying, she and Strange are in astral projection form. And she tells him that he still has to learn the most important lesson of all, which is, it's not about you. And I really love that scene because it comes after Strange confronts Caecilius. When Strange first meets the Ancient One, which I think is a great scene, he acts like a jerk, and he just, she just kind of schools him in magic. But he tells her that people are nothing more than atoms, momentary specks within an indifferent universe. And when he confronts Caecilius, Caecilius tells Strange the exact same thing, which draws kind of the parallels between them and why the Ancient One was nervous about having Strange practice magic. And so Strange starts to realize that maybe he and Caecilius are more alike than he thought, and that it's not a good thing. And so when he hears the Ancient One tell him, it's not about you, he starts to finally understand the lesson, and then he learns it. And I think it's a really good lesson to learn, as people in society. Not everything's about us. There's a huge world out there, a lot of other people that we should be concerned about and caring about, and sometimes you have to put your own needs aside to help other people, and that's the lesson that I think Strange learns in this, and I really like that as a moment between Strange and the Ancient One. And then this leads again to his decision at the end against Dormammu, because Strange decides that the only way to win is to sacrifice himself in a time loop to Dormammu. So he says, I've come to bargain, and he dies over and over and over again before Dormammu kind of gives up and kind of gives in to Strange's his wishes. And it's a clever way to beat the villain. It sort of follows what he told Mordo earlier, that violence doesn't always have to be the first solution if there's another way. because he is a doctor and he took an oath to do no harm and to save people. So I think the ending is kind of fitting for the inner journey that Strange goes throughout this film. There's a little Easter egg in here. When Strange is in his car before the car crash, it's mentioned that an Air Force colonel was crushed by an experimental armor suit. And I'm not sure if it was ever 100% confirmed, but I think we all think this is a reference to Rhodey's injury in Captain America Civil War. But it also made me think of Iron Man 2 when Justin Hammer had somebody get injured in the armor suits that he was building. And so I just kind of was a cool little Easter egg, I think, to kind of throw in there. And of course, the message of that scene is, don't text and drive. So overall, I think this is a decent Marvel movie. There's some good stuff in here. It does have a little bit of pacing issues, particularly in the middle section. And Strange isn't really a super likable character, which I do think kind of hurts him a little bit. But it's still a fine MCU film. It's better than the worst MCU movies, but it's not great. But I still think there's a lot of good stuff to enjoy in it. So that's it. That's my review for the first Doctor Strange. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Bye.